Hey there! So, you're curious about AI. That's awesome. You've probably also noticed that there's this mountain of free books and resources online, which is great. But let's be honest, it can also be a little bit paralyzing. The biggest question isn't really what to learn, it's where on earth do you even start? If you've ever felt like you're just drowning in a sea of PDFs and lecture notes, you are not alone. I totally get it. It's classic information overload. But that's exactly why we're here. Think of this as your personal map. We're going to cut through the noise and find the perfect starting point for your journey into AI.
All right, so here's our game plan. We've laid this out like your own personal AI learning quest. First, we'll define the quest itself. Then, we're going to build your foundation. After that, we'll see how AI actually works in the real world. Then we'll level up with machine learning. And finally, the big payoff, choosing the right first book for you. Ready? Let's get started.
Okay, first things first, we need to build a solid foundation. Before we can get to all the cool stuff like self-driving cars or super smart game characters, we have to understand the simple but really powerful ideas that make it all happen. So, what are those absolute fundamentals? Well, here's the biggest secret you'll find in pretty much every beginner's guide. At its heart, a huge part of AI is just about searching. Think of any problem, whether it's winning a game of chess or finding the fastest route to work, as a giant maze. And AI's job isn't to magically know the answer. Its job is to search that maze as efficiently as possible to find the best path out.
And that giant maze, it has a technical name, state space search. Now that sounds way more complicated than it is. As Dr. Prashanta Kumar Patra's notes explain it, it's really just a map. A map of every single possible situation or state a problem could be in. From every possible chessboard layout to every single intersection on a city grid, the AI is basically just a very, very good map navigator.
So, how does an AI actually search? Well, let's check out one of the simplest methods called hill climbing. It's super intuitive. Imagine you're on a mountain, but it's completely foggy and you want to get to the top. What would you do? You'd probably look right around your feet, find which direction goes up, and take a step. Then you'd do it again and again. That's it. That's hill climbing. Simple, right? But it's a perfect first algorithm to wrap your head around. And what this shows us is that there are kind of two main doors you can use to walk into the world of AI. Some books, like the notes from Sri Indu College, are all about the how. They focus on the practical search algorithms, the step-by-step process of actually finding the solution. Then you've got others, like the notes from St. Anne College, that focus more on the what, as in how do you even represent knowledge so a computer can understand it in the first place. One is about action, the other is about description. And you know what? Both are fantastic starting points. So you've got the basic ideas down, searching and representing knowledge. Cool, but what can you actually do with that stuff? This is where it gets really fun, because we get to see these abstract ideas come to life and do amazing things in the real world. And is there a better real-world example than video games? I don't think so. This quote from the book Artificial Intelligence and Games just nails it. Every single time you play against a clever opponent in a game, you're literally facing off against those search techniques we were just talking about. That's the brain behind the bad guy. But it is so much more than just controlling characters. As the book explains, AI can generate entire game worlds from scratch, making every playthrough totally unique. It can even learn how you play and adjust the difficulty on the fly to keep you challenged. It's this huge, incredibly creative field that really shows you the power of these core ideas. And look, this stuff isn't all just for fun and games. The exact same principles of searching a map for the best path are absolutely critical in robotics. As Thomas Trappenberg's work shows, figuring out how a robot arm should move to pick something up is just a different kind of search problem. The context is totally different, but the core logic, it's the same. Okay, we've built the foundation and we've seen it in action. Now it's time to level up. For a lot of people these days, the absolute summit of the AI mountain is machine learning. And this is where things get really mind-blowing. So what's the big difference here? Well, with that foundational AI, we were basically telling the computer the rules of the search. With machine learning, we build systems that learn the rules on their own, just by looking at tons of data. So instead of telling the AI how to solve the maze, you just show it 1,000 examples of how other people solved it, and it figures out the best strategy all by itself. A really powerful way this works is something called reinforcement learning. Imagine you drop a brand new AI into a video game with 0 instructions. It learns just by trial and error. It gets a point for a good move, loses a point for a bad one.
After doing this millions of times, it literally teaches itself the perfect strategy to get the highest score, all without a human ever telling it the rules. And reinforcement learning is just scratching the surface. The advanced world, which you can read about in books like Professor Zakari's, just explodes with these incredible ideas. You've got neural networks, the ones you always hear about that are kind of inspired by the human brain. You've got deep learning, which gives AI the power to find patterns in massive amounts of data. Everything from recognizing faces to understanding speech. This is the real frontier.
All right, we have toured the entire landscape. We went from the foundational foothills all the way up to the advanced cutting-edge summit. So now for the final and most important part of our quest, using this map to pick your personal starting point.
So after all of that, the big question remains, which of these free books is the right one to get you started? Let me break it down for you based on what you actually want to accomplish.
And here we are, your personal decision guide. It's pretty straightforward. If you're thinking, look, just give me the absolute basics, then you want to start with the digital notes from Sri Indu College. It's all about those core search algorithms we talked about. Now, if your passion is building cool things and you want to get your hands dirty with games, then AI and Games is, without a doubt, your book. And finally, if you're feeling ambitious and you want to see the future right now, go ahead and jump into the deep end with Professor Zakari's explorations in AI and ML.
The biggest takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. There is a path here for you, no matter where you want to start. The knowledge is out there, these books are free, and your learning quest is officially ready to begin. So the only question left, and it's the most exciting one, is this: what will you create?